Miami teacher showed Winnie the Pooh, but I did not need a 4th grade class.
What's up, fanboys and fangirls?
No students who express concern.
Welcome back to the only show that is digging into the real tough questions like, should you show Winnie the Pooh? Winnie the Pooh.
We did the same thing!
Blood and honey.
Pooh is a hard word to say.
Pooh is a hard word to say to 4th graders.
And sometimes
Hot
poo
take.
can be a hard thing to do, too.
Hot
if you're
take.
not eating your fiber.
No, don't show an R-rated Winnie the Pooh. Is it? It's probably not even R-rated. It's probably not rated.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Don't show that to 4th graders.
Well, I heard it wasn't good, so
that doesn't
doesn't
surprise
matter
me.
what it's rated.
That's a good point. Welcome back to another episode of the What the Fanboy Show, where we're already off the rails, and that's just going to be the theme of this episode because
This episode has no
we're
plan.
incredibly sleep deprived this week.
Both of you were like, we're not going to have an episode next week. And I was like, guess who won? I did. I won, baby. This is my show.
I'm feeling surprisingly,
That I don't really help at all anymore. I can just
surprisingly
talk.
good this evening. So, just a thing we've been teasing the last couple weeks, we finally got to do this weekend, which is shoot a movie. So,
Pretty cool.
it's obviously we still have pickups to do. For those of you who don't know, pickups are like extra shots that you didn't get to during your main filming section or things that you need to add.
They're the
in
thing
edit.
that when they announce it for a superhero movie, you know it's going to be absolute trash according to the...
Yes.
Reshoots is
Reshoots.
sometimes we're not doing reshoots, we're just doing pickups.
Yeah, don't say reshoots.
These are additional.
As
This is
Luke's indicating.
additional photography.
Yeah, principle's complete.
Principles complete. But yeah, we stayed up super late 3 nights in a row. Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. Some of us stayed up Sunday night just because then we were in a weird sleep cycle.
Not me.
Yeah, I went to bed.
Okay, well,
It was-
lucky you two.
Great.
Did wake up a little too early on Sunday morning, though. It just kind of made me mad.
But hopefully you'll be able to see the fruits of that labor at some point soon. I don't know. I'm not making any promises. So.
Soon?
I said soon's relative. Not like weeks. Maybe not even months. But like within the next year.
Maybe.
Oh, I mean...
Depends.
Look, best case scenario, that will not happen. Best case scenario, this goes to a festival, someone sees it and is like, we want to buy it and like do distribution ourselves. Okay, then yeah, you may not see it for a while. I don't know. But and if that's not the case, then yeah, probably about a year from now it'll be public. If
Can
you
I
were
just-
a part of it, if you're listening and you were a part of it, or friends and family, we'll probably do a private screening at some point.
If worst comes to worst, I'll just record it on my phone
Oh,
vertically
dude, yeah, like
Yeah.
and leak it on...
With your flash,
Vimeo?
with your flash on.
leak it on OnlyFans. Make an OnlyFans.
I already have got that on.
Okay, just
already.
upload it on your OnlyFans.
Does Galen shoot it for you?
Dude,
Yeah,
I do think
he
there
does.
could be yeah. No, in any case, that's what we did this week. I'm not even gonna talk
I was
about what
gonna-
I did later because that's all I did. In the meantime, as if you're watching on Twitch or YouTube, there's no banner because
was
I
looking
didn't know.
for it. I was like,
didn't
what's
know
our
what
order
to-
of show?
We don't have one this week. Literally, chaos will ensue. And if you're here for the chaos, thank you.
Just embrace the chaos.
Embrace
That's
it.
the second time I've said that today.
Wow.
And
I'm-
I'm not sure how I feel about it.
The
I'm just
theme
amazed
continues.
that you guys think this show isn't chaos, even when there is a banner.
That's fair.
It's organized chaos.
That's fair. It's controlled
No,
chaos.
it's chaos that you know is
Coming.
I'm
like
I'm prepared for
news.
that.
What's that going to be?
Yeah, I guess to piggyback off of talking about what we did this past weekend, it was definitely a different experience than the film races and stuff that we've
I
done.
was gonna say you had a way more expanded role than you've ever had before in terms of just like the size of the production.
Yeah, so like the first time we did anything, like I've always had the same role, but this time it was a lot more people to kind of manage. But like I was talking to somebody about it today, like the first year of Take 36, I was a script supervisor.
Mhm.
Like that's pretty much all I did. Year 2, I loosely ran the camera, and then with this, much expanded role. But it was a lot of fun. Like I enjoyed doing it. I think it mostly went well.
Yeah.
I thought we made pretty good time. Night 3, which was the most challenging night of shooting, was the one that we went long on, which we kind of expected. And,
Yeah.
All in all, I had
But even then,
great
like
experience.
our go long was like
We still were done.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
Past our like
our end time.
Our end time, and we didn't get quite all the shots that we wanted, but
we got the big
we
ones.
We knew we would have pickups, so it wasn't a huge deal.
Yeah, we got the big ones. We resigned.
I think in indie filmmaking, if you're like not running up against the deadline, you're probably
doing it
not
wrong.
doing it right.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it went really well. It was a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun hanging out with you guys every Monday night, but getting to do something like what we did this past weekend together is just a really fun experience.
I feel like that's got to be for you and your kind of competitive nature and spirit. Does that feel like game day in a kind of way?
So I was kind of thinking, ironically, I was thinking about that on the drive over here. It's like, you're in it, you're struggling through it, your legs hurt, you're tired, you're not sleeping much, and you're like, man, this is brutal. But like as soon as you're done, you're like, man, I want more of it. And it's kind of similar to sports, right? Like you get the crap beat out of you for 3 hours on a Saturday, and then you wake up Sunday and you're like, can't wait to do it again.
Right.
Right. And but no, there is a little bit of that like game day feel to it. Like there's all the prep, right? Like we've looked. I've said it a few times, but we looked at that script for almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Right. And like. We had been prepping and prepping and prepping and prepping. And at a certain point, you just want the rubber to meet the road. And it finally did. And it went well. And it's like, okay, good. We executed the game plan. So, yeah, I mean, I talked about the Kugler podcast episode.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I get what he's saying when he says, like, he applies that mentality to it. Because I kind of tried to do that this weekend for myself. And I think it helped. Like, I was texting you Tuesday, Wednesday last week as we're leading up to it. I'm like, hey, I'm just trying to get my mind to this place. So we're doing this right. And it's just it's a fun and unique experience that I never thought I would be a part of at any point in my life, and I've enjoyed every second of it.
Look at you now.
Look at me. Who'd have thought?
Yeah.
Luke, do you have anything you want to mention about it? You have fun doing it?
I had a lot of fun. My job was significantly easier than both of yours. Mainly because I was not a producer, nor a director, or a screenwriter. I just held the boom mic. So I had a place to stand and a thing to hold when somebody told me to do it. But it's really fun to just see what movie making is like.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And do, like in the past when we've done the Take 36, we don't have lighting rigs and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Or somebody that is a cinematographer.
Yeah.
So just to see like Galen to be like, okay, I need this here, this here, this here, turn that up, turn that down. And then to like look at the monitor and just be like, that looks awesome. It was really cool. Like I feel like every time we've made something, we get to experience more and more what it's actually like.
Yeah.
So it was really fun.
Yeah,
and it was cold, which was exhilarating.
Yeah, I think this was the most like quote unquote professional feeling thing we've done. Right?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like to say, piggyback on
100%.
Luke there. Like watching Galen set up shots, I think I'm with you. I thought that was so cool. And like his ability, this has become a Galen appreciation episode. His ability to like look at a light and be like, I need that at 13.4. And you're like, what? It's at 22. Yeah, 13.4 will be good. He gets there, it's like perfect. And you're like, how does he just know that?
It's just like, I need the light in this spot, pointed in this direction, so it bounces off this thing. It's a bunch of stuff as you watch a movie that you just don't know what it looks like when you're actually there. And it's a really just amazing experience, and it's not just like light here pointed at him.
Yeah,
like it's the light. Like there was one like in the street where the light was like 50 yards away, and it's like, is that actually doing anything? Well, yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just to mess too with the camera settings and have this giant equation equal cool looking shot. Maths is hard.
Lighting is, the older I've gotten and the more I've learned about light. Like lighting is there's so much math involved in it, and it's not like an equation that you're like sitting there solving, but it's just understanding how this source plus this surface plus this diffusion or minus this, out of bounds. It's incredible.
Yeah.
And it's something that's beyond my, like, I haven't trained in it. And so, like, I know what I like. I know what I think looks good. But I can't tell you the pieces that make the equation work. And so bringing in Galen has been, I think, the best thing we could have done for this short.
It makes it infinitely better immediately. It's an immediate impact.
We were all, well, I say we were all, at least Galen and I think we all felt maybe good after day one of the shoot. But he said he went home and he was pretty nervous about it. Like, and then in the morning, he pulled up some shots and started doing some color correction, and he sent those to us, and he was like, okay, no, I'm feeling good about it.
Yeah, those came across my phone, and I was like, oh my gosh, this looks
excited
fantastic.
To see what he can do, even just beyond, because that's just him just tinkering.
Yeah,
that's
just
not like
a real
him
quick
diving into it.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna have some good conversations about what we really want that to look like and feel in the coming weeks. So
yeah.
And just kind of, I think, a different perspective than you guys have. You guys both worked on the story for 2 years.
Yeah.
I've probably had 0.5% input, just eavesdropping on your guys' conversation and throwing in something every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, when you sit in the script and it's like, hey, this is what we're doing, I read it, and seeing it filmed, it's like, really cool story, too.
Oh,
yeah.
So,
well, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Good work.
Thanks.
Yeah, it was a fun journey to get to the point we're at. Nowhere near done, but
I would say, Luke,
man, it feels good.
For having read it 1 or 2 times prior to filming, during filming, were you able still to kind of follow, like, okay, here's what we're doing, and or was it kind of like, I don't know how all these different shots piece together? For
the most part, I could.
Okay.
I would get confused, kind of, on like, is this day or this day?
Sure. Yeah.
Because we didn't film it in order based on what actors we needed.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, and like what kind of shots we were doing.
Yeah. There's a whole nother level of once you involve multiple actors and multiple locations over multiple days. Like, this was Brett getting to put on his producer hat and, like, scheduling, right? Like, we want to pay our actors. We're going to pay them, per day. So while it would be great to have, all 5 of them here for all 3 days for, like, to bond, to getting know each other and whatnot, like, they could show up. We would have been fine with them showing up, but realistically, we only need them for 1 day, so we're going to schedule them around this 1 day so that we can pay them, not the least, but if their stuff isn't going to require more than 1 day, why have them show up for more than 1 day?
Correct. Yeah, and I'll leave my last thought here is if you worked on this with us this weekend and you watched this show, shout out to you guys. You guys made it super easy. Everybody was very cordial. I don't think there was a single temper flare the entire weekend. It was an incredibly pleasant experience. So great. And
if anything, tempers got
everybody was just
cooled because it was so cold.
I just think everybody was just
having
fun.
Too nice, actually.
Yeah, everybody was just having a ton of fun, and at the end of the day, I think that's what it's about, right? It's like doing things you love and having a good time doing it. And I would say everybody who worked on it with us this weekend, I think they all had a good time. So I
sure hope so. That's the vibe I got. Yeah. And that's what I was hoping for, right? Like, I think you want to make, anytime you have, what is it I say? If you have the privilege and opportunity to say something that matters. And, if you're making a movie, might as well have fun while you're doing it.
Oh, yeah.
So
I can't wait to, like, show some of the behind the scenes pictures. My favorite one is definitely me laying on the floor because we were trying to cue things up with 2 actors who couldn't see each other. Because I haven't showed you guys that. So Jordan took some pictures.
Oh, good.
And sent them to me. And one of them is us dancing on the monitor. He has a video of that. when we were out in the street and Brett was
Oh,
back on the
yeah.
monitor and you and I we were all just because Galen started dancing, so we were like, yeah, whatever. So we all just started dancing.
That's awesome.
And then the other one was like, I'm laying down on the ground. I have my hand here and here. And like I look ridiculous. It's like camera's set up. Everybody like Luke. I think Luke's in position with the mic. Like everything's set, and I'm just like laying there, like, all right. Like it's just so goofy looking. But it's one of those things that when you watch a movie, you don't realize how much. Like I explained it to a guy today at work. I was like, you don't realize how much of a movie is held together by like duct tape and blankets. Like it's just so silly.
So true.
Lots of blankets.
Yeah, but it's
Only blankets.
Easton was wrapped in some blankets.
Easton was wrapped in blankets on multiple occasions.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, just there's just so many funny things like when you're making something, and especially something that's as serious as what we're making.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing,
It's
right?
like it's so cool and chill behind the scenes, and like it's just so different. And I have to think that like when people are making these big horror movies, like that's the feeling on set too. They're just having fun. Yeah, and like you have to.
Yeah,
you have to. Like there's a level of taking yourself serious that you have to be willing to set aside.
Yeah.
I think everybody who worked on it did.
There's only one scene where I was like very intentional about trying
Who's
to
there?
like keep. Yeah, who's in the room for this? It's a really emotional bit.
Mhm.
I wanted our actor to feel comfortable and not like he had 100 eyes on him. Not that there were 100 eyes.
No.
30 eyes.
Still
at
a pretty
most.
big crew though.
It was still a bit. It was a big crew, and to just echo Tyler, it would not, this project, if you're listening and you helped out, it would not have happened without you.
Yeah.
So, we would have tried, and it would be a way.
We would have been way less successful.
Less successful. Yeah. So I just am super appreciative to everyone who helped out, and yeah, obviously this isn't the last you'll hear about it or we'll be talking about it.
Maybe at some point we'll premiere it on the show.
Whoa, what an idea. But yeah, I could sit here and talk about this movie all, like, just the process of making movies all night, and I don't necessarily want to do that. So
we just work here.
We just work here. So let's see. We had.
Can I get a raise?
Yes.
Yes.
How dare you?
10% raise, please.
We don't talk about salaries here.
10% raise off $0. What an increase.
Did you guys see any new trailers this week?
There was one trailer that released that I didn't watch.
I think it's the same one. What was it called?
It's called Wonka.
Oh, no, I didn't watch.
Oh,
I didn't watch
see the
that
new
trailer either.
Wonka.
There was another one that came out that I didn't watch, but it was, I can't remember what it's called. Bad.
It was a thing. There was a full length trailer for Monarch TV show that
there
dropped
was.
today. That looked awesome.
I didn't watch that either.
The reviews came out too.
Yeah.
And
It looks good.
Yeah, the reviews are out like
Good.
3.5 weeks before the show premieres.
I think
That's a good sign.
Yeah, that's usually a great sign.
in the 90s on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I think it was like 91 or 93, something like that.
So
Can't wait.
I'm very curious to what that kind of the general vibe is of it, right? Is it the Godzilla versus Kong, or is it
I think
Godzilla,
it's Godzilla,
or is it I think
Godzilla 1999.
I think Skull Island. I think Kong Skull Island kind of balances those things really well.
I think
It's very much its own kind of period piece.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just, where will it fall on that scale? I don't know. Probably the trailers make it feel more like Godzilla.
Yeah, I think so too.
And I'm kind of hoping for that.
Yeah, the other trailer too, and we can call it a trailer, the Iron Claw. So
Oh, that's right. This movie looks awesome.
yeah. Sorry, I'm thinking there's another thing called the Iron Lung that had a trailer, but yes, the Iron Claw trailer was really good. Thumbs up.
Well, should I know what the Iron Claw?
It's the wrestling movie with Zac Efron.
Oh, that's
And
right.
the guy from The Bear.
Yeah,
Yes.
the guy from The Bear.
Yeah.
Looks really good.
It looks super good. And I saw some stuff about like what that story actually is and like what it's actually about, and it's gonna be a heavy movie. It's gonna be hard.
It's A24, right?
Yeah.
So there's a demon at the end.
We'll talk
Inevitably.
we could talk about A24 a little later in the news section because they had some stuff come out this week too.
Oh yeah.
And then the Iron Lung. which is a video game movie that YouTuber Markiplier
You're a video game
is directing, I guess.
Oh, cool.
But apparently they used a lot of blood in it, and like the little teaser they put out, it's just all blood. And I was like, well, you weren't wrong.
Look, I think it's okay to have a bit. Like, if that's your bit,
I
like,
love a
commit
good
to
bit.
it,
Yeah.
right?
Lots of blood. Dude
So-
was just covered in blood. That's all it was. I was like, huh, okay.
I'm not sure that's
Was it blood or was it Kool-Aid?
It's probably like chocolate.
It's
and
probably
something else.
Kyros, how do you say that? The syrup.
Corn syrup?
Corn syrup. Right, corn syrup.
Yeah, I don't know. But yes, the Iron Claw,
Caro?
definitely the highlight
Caro?
trailer of the
Caro?
week for me.
Yeah. Cool.
I thought about watching the Wonka trailer, and then I was like, no, this movie looks so bad.
I'm
the only one that actually thinks it looks so bad. But
I just don't care quite enough to be like, yes, the Wonka trailer. Let me sit down and spend
Yeah.
my time to watch it.
I wasn't gonna stop, but I
I don't
was
think
doing
I don't think it
watch
looks bad. The older trailer. I'm just kind of tired of seeing the one trailer that's been
in
they've
front
been
of every
showing
movie.
for the last 9 months.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch the trailer. I saw it came out, but like, I'm gonna see it, so I don't really care to see another trailer.
Sure. Yeah, you don't need it.
But
Cool.
do with that what you will.
Well, then we
I'm gonna
can
make some chocolate.
we can talk about the fall of the House of Usher.
Oh baby.
We're not reviewing this. We have all only watched the first episode because our weekend was insane.
We were sleepy.
Yeah.
So
It's so funny how similar Luke and I is like, because Luke was telling me before the show how he like had to rewind it a couple times at moments, and I was like, dude, like legit was. Dana's like, why are you rewinding? Like, because I wasn't paying attention. She's like, oh, okay, because she ended up watching the first episode with me.
She liked
nice.
She didn't hate it. I think she's concerned about the amount of gore that will be in it from the trailer,
it.
and she just doesn't like anything that has a ton of gore in it.
I'm gonna tell you this because this is my Mike Flanagan experience of the things I watched of his. There won't be a lot, but when it shows up, it will probably be pretty intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can that checks out.
I mean, everything he's done so far that I've watched, that's kind of how it's been.
Yeah.
So, I think she'll end up watching it.
I mean, the first episode was really good.
First episode was dope.
I agree. I thought it was really good.
I don't feel like I got a good sense of what this was from the like one trailer that I watched.
Mm-hmm.
And I was okay with that. Like I kind of went in not knowing exactly what this was going to be. Just knowing that it was a Mike Flanagan thing, and I'm loving the like Succession vibes. Plus, there's a little bit of like midnight. Like the thing opens in like a church, and I'm like, oh, I'm already getting like midnight mass vibes. It's very different, but Flanagan blends things together in a way that a lot of other directors I think struggle to, or they feel like they have to stay in kind of a genre lane. And I just am really appreciative of how fluid he is with his genre pieces.
The best thing that Flanagan is at, and it's why all of his things hit, because he does a great job of just introducing you to the characters, which is what the first episode is.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's here's our players.
Yep.
I feel like that's fitting, since it's Shakespeare. And now we're gonna kind of watch them be offed.
Yeah, I think the thing that stands out to me, so like obviously one episode in that I just was really surprised isn't the word, but super intrigued by, is that in everything, like all of his shows, right? So Hill House, Bly Manor, Midnight Mass, and now this, all of the previous shows, like when you start it, there's characters you like.
Yeah, and
And
ones
in
are all
this,
bad people.
you don't like any of them.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to.
Yeah.
And I think that's super interesting because it feels like he's like, I'm gonna flip the coin and do it a little different this time. And I like that. Like I like the risk. I don't think it's a risk. Like I like the decision to go that route. Like, hey, I'm not gonna make something where there's clearly a character you should be rooting for. I'm going to make you pick and choose.
Mm-hmm.
And it just makes the show feel more immersive, I'd say, which is a weird word for a show, but like I just feel more involved in the story than I have previously. The other thing now, watching my fourth Flanagan show, is like every frame of the show matters to me. So like if I look away for even a second, I rewind it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, what did I miss? And I think there's not a lot of shows, movies, media that feels that way anymore. Like there's a lot of stuff you can watch where you can tune out, look at your phone for a bit, and then look back and be like, okay, yeah, I still know what's going on.
Yeah.
I didn't miss anything.
Yeah.
But with Flanagan, there's stuff hidden all over the frames. There's constant movement in every shot, and so you're like, what am I missing?
Yep.
And I just love that. Like it just makes it so like it encaptures me. Like I feel like I have to constantly be staring at the screen. It's great.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I was telling Brett before because he was finishing the first episode when I got over here, so I got
nice.
watched like the last 20 minutes or something. Whoever his DP is so good.
Yes.
I think they might. I mean, I'm kind of having trouble just thinking of even other ones, but it's like when it comes to lighting, it's Roger Deakins, and then whoever is doing Mike Flanagan's shows.
Mm-hmm.
The scene when Roderick, is that the main guy's name? Usher?
Yeah, Roderick Usher.
Yeah, Roderick.
And Madeline are kids, and their childhood home was just so awesome.
Talking about the like when they're sitting
In their
next to the
childhood
bed.
home. Just everything in their childhood
okay.
home when they're kids.
Mm-hmm.
It's gave me lots of Hill House vibes. And that's my favorite Flanagan show, so I was loving that. But I'm probably gonna rewatch the first episode so I can just kind of gather myself as I head into the rest of the show. Because I was so tired when I was watching it, and I don't want to miss a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. To talk about lighting too, the scene where they're in their childhood home and they're sitting beside the bed and it goes from day to night and it's like one continuous thing. I was like as I'm watching, like, how did he do that? How?
They take the thing and just go.
It's so cool.
They're holding a blanket.
Yeah, probably. I was gonna say it's probably something super simple, but like it's like we're gonna bring these lights up and these lights down at the same time, and it's just gonna look like time is passing, and it's like.
Mm-hmm.
It looks seamless. It looks so great.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, man, how do they pull that off? And I feel like there's something in almost every episode, but definitely every show where you kind of go, how do they do that with him? Like he just has, I don't know, he just does so good. He's one of the best working today for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would agree. And I think the kind of the mystery
that they're setting up is great.
is really intriguing.
Yeah.
They do a good job in the first episode, which is an hour long. You know, they go through 4 different time periods within Roderick's life, present day, childhood, a little later in childhood, and then like young adults. And yeah, I'm fascinated by how much supernatural actually gets thrown in here. Because it doesn't feel like a supernatural show.
But there's moments.
But there are moments where it's like, you gotta believe, right? You gotta believe. And what the cast. I don't think we've really talked much about the cast, but I think Bruce,
to be in the Mike Flanagan circle.
Yeah,
that would be so awesome.
Yeah,
I love how he rotates actors through certain roles too. Like he's like, hey, you were really prominent in this. I'm gonna kind of pull you back, and I'm gonna make you prominent now. I just love the way he's doing it.
Yep,
I think it's so cool.
Yeah, there's quite a large cast in this one,
yeah.
And so far they've all been brilliant. So
just think, Zach Guilford used to be throwing touchdowns for the Dillon Panthers. Now he's being haunted, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know, something like that.
I didn't even realize when watching Midnight Mass that was Clear Eyes, Full Hearts.
Oh.
I don't remember his name in the show, but he's the quarterback.
I didn't
Have you
watch the
watched?
show.
You haven't watched Friday Night Lights? I feel like that's a show you'd probably like because it's about football.
Matt.
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
Matt is his
Matt.
name. Matt.
Yeah, Matt.
Let me see, which guy is it?
I don't know. It's
Oh, him.
the lead from. It's Riley from
Yeah.
Midnight Mass.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. Well, we're not here to spoil anything, so we'll just say that
It's good.
it's good. And if
One
you're
episode is good.
intrigued by what we were talking about, it's on Netflix. Go watch it.
It is really funny. I guess this isn't a spoiler because I'm gonna be super vague. But like as the episode, I didn't know how far into the episode I was. I'm like, man, surely something creepy's got to happen at some point, right? And then it was like 20 seconds later, it's like boom, creepy, and I was like, there it is. I was wondering when I was gonna get this.
I really like how Flanagan kind of holds back on that though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like it's not a jump scare every 5 minutes. It's like here's something that you'll go. Maybe every 15.
I feel like he's
Yeah.
always been way more interested in the drama, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The characters.
He cares about the characters, and the jump scares are or the scares. I wouldn't describe most of his stuff as jump scares, but like
He likes to creep you out.
the
more.
creepy stuff is still there.
Yeah.
It's there to service
Mm-hmm.
the story. And it's not used in kind of like the formulaic manner of you have to have something happen every 10 pages,
Yeah.
kind of a thing.
Yeah, I love the way this episode ends.
And honestly, I think it
I'm
makes
like,
those
what is
scary
this?
moments hit more.
Yeah.
Because they're fewer between.
What is that?
Yeah, that was my immediate reaction. I was like, "What are we doing here? What's happening?" And it makes you want to keep watching.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It makes you keep coming back.
That it does. All right. Well, we're gonna come back to the fall of the House of Usher, probably in a week or two when we've all watched the whole thing. My guess is we'll all probably get through it in a week, but you never know.
If my sister watches it, I
Tyler's-
will. If she
Tyler-
doesn't, I have
Tyler's
family
slow.
coming into town, so
I mean, not slow, but you're just.
I am generally slow. Like that's okay to say.
Is it the ankle?
No,
The Achilles hasn't really healed fully.
it's pretty much healed.
Oh, okay.
I'm just slow at watching TV shows.
I'm just trying to make a funny pun or something of the sort. Anyways,
Yeah, it wasn't funny.
why you do this to me? Why you do this to me? What happened to the news this week?
I teased talking about A24.
Are you gonna lead with that one?
I am gonna leave with that one.
All right.
So they are in the hunt for some IPs. They want big action IPs and Halloween. So
Well, they didn't get Halloween.
who ended up getting it?
Miramax.
They were trying to
AKA
get it,
Disney.
and so now they're looking for a big action blockbuster type IP. So that is a huge shift for them in idea, like in idea. Now, obviously, they could buy a big IP and then like we're gonna make this weird thing, like right, like they may not abandon what they've done,
Yeah.
but they're certainly interested in getting into the big market space with what they're doing.
Yeah.
Which I think is a very interesting kind of shift for that studio that I would not have had on my bingo card.
They've had lots of critical successes,
They have.
but most people don't go and see their movies.
Right.
Unless, like, sure, the movie made $100 million on the $50 million budget, or even far less than that. But, like, you kind of, it's the you got to spend money to make money kind of thing. So
Yeah.
it keeps getting pricier and pricier, and you got to branch out.
And eventually you got to get a blockbuster.
Yeah. So, like, if they could get some, honestly, just even B or C level IP,
Yeah.
it could really explode for them.
Well, and I hope, one of my biggest hope for it all is they do get one and they really keep their fingerprints on it, right? Like it still feels like an A24
If they can
thing.
do something unique with it,
Yeah.
right? Like that's the thing. If they're acquiring an IP just because they want, something that they can spend $100 million on, and they're banking on getting $500 million on, that's what everyone else is doing, and it's not working, right? Like the last year of cinema has proven that is not a recipe for success unless you have the kind of money backing you that Disney does. And in that, it doesn't matter if you miss.
Yeah.
Right? A24 can't afford that. So hopefully what they're doing is they're acquiring some unique IP. I think of something like, what was the one with...
I wonder if you're thinking of the same thing I'm thinking of.
Why can't I think of it? What it was called?
What genre?
It's a superhero film.
Oh.
But it's what was the one with Vin Diesel?
Bloodshot.
Something like Bloodshot, but you can go in a weird direction with it.
So I think of things like, I think it was called Jupiter Ascending.
Yeah.
I think of stuff like that. What I think
Wachowski twins.
Sure. Yeah, that they did do that.
Yeah, they did do that.
The other thing I think of is something like we've gotten a show, but like something like Paper Girls.
Oh yeah.
Why? Something like that. Like if they want an IP that's not super big, like they're big in the comic book space, sure, but like you could take that, and I think those things kind of fit the weirdness of A24. Like I think they could make it interesting.
Yeah.
But obviously they're probably thinking something that we're not even sniffing right now.
Yeah, probably.
Like because they operate so differently than everybody else.
Yeah.
Like they zig when everyone zags.
Well,
right?
and
So,
the idea of like them going after Halloween, like that franchise, that IP, that's not a blockbuster IP.
No.
So that is still, it feels fine for them.
Well, I wonder now we're getting into the speculation game, but remember like Flanagan did the script apart and he wanted to get Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
But nobody knows who has the rights.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if maybe they're in like hunting for something, like maybe they'd hunt for that.
Yeah.
Any of the horror franchises.
Yeah, they could probably
Nightmare, Friday the 13th.
They could do something
Heck,
that feels
Final
fresh.
Who owns like Final Destination?
Yeah.
They could totally
that would
flip
fit
that.
That would fit their style too. Yeah,
Mhm.
Big time.
I think something that would be really cool that's even still in the horror world. I don't even know how rights work with this, because I don't think Universal owns it. It might be open to everybody for use. What's it called? When everybody has rights.
Public domain.
Public domain, yeah.
The like Universal monsters, like Invisible
like
Man, Dracula,
Creature of the Black Lagoon.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
those.
I think they were trying to get in on that. Universal hasn't put anything out, so
They've made the Invisible Man.
that's it. So,
Are they working on a sequel?
Are they?
They were working on something with.
I don't know if they still are. But
They
I think
said they
at
were.
At one point, they may have been.
Yeah, no, it's certainly interesting to see A24 publicly state that, though.
I do
that's
think
pretty wild.
Yeah.
Maybe this is to me. I do think it would be nice if they would get out of just making like super sad dramas and horror.
No, I'm supportive of this. Like I think it's a cool idea.
Yeah.
I'd love to see what A24 can do with it. I just hope whatever they get isn't just something we've seen a million times. Like I hope what they get is something. Was it you, Luke, that said like a B or C level IP? Like nothing crazy.
The Green
right?
Hornet.
Sure.
Honestly, sure, that'd be pretty cool.
Something weird and unique. Yeah, absolutely. I think it'd be really fun.
I actually think you said those Universal Classic Monsters. I'm just reading through these, and I'm like, yes, absolutely. Let me see the Deadly Mantis from A24.
They're gonna get like.
I'm trying to think of like,
Tremors.
Dude.
They're gonna get Tremors.
A Tremors
That would be
reboot?
awesome.
People
I'm
are gonna be
down.
like, interesting. Be curious
I mean,
what
they still
make.
make Tremors movies. I think there's a new one like every 10 years, and
Oh,
everybody's like, what?
absolutely.
And it's awesomely bad. First Tremors is amazing. I'm just trying to think of like what action movies have come out in the past 10 years that have been pretty good that they could
They
work
can run
on.
with.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's going on with the Bourne movies.
Hopefully
Nothing?
B action.
Speaking of action movies.
What about Bloodsport or whatever that movie was called?
What about I keep thinking of Vin Diesel movies. He had that
Riddick.
Yeah,
That could be fun.
That'd be pretty cool.
I think
I
there's
think that
one
could
in
be fun.
development though.
that's right.
I think there's
think you're right.
somebody was making one not too
Yeah.
long ago.
Velocipaster. There we go.
Yeah. The A-Team.
I don't know. Yeah, what would an A-Team movie from them
Since
be
we're not
like?
releasing
Oh my
Predator
gosh.
movies in theaters, can they have Predator?
Ooh, I'd
That
be
would
down.
be so cool.
I'd be down.
Yeah. But no, speaking of action movies, while you look that up, did you guys see that the Kingsman sequel movie? So the Kingsman was the prequel to Kingsman. They're making another The Kingsman movie that's set during like the rise of Hitler. You guys see this?
Sure didn't.
Darkman. Sorry, I'm just reading.
Oh,
The King's
Man 2.
Man.
I think they also announced what's his name? Matthew Vaughn was also like, yes, Kingsman 3 is in development.
Yeah, there was a lot of Kingsman news.
Oh, what?
today.
Not Kingsman 2, the Golden Circle.
No,
The
it's the Kingsman. So I guess I haven't seen the Kingsman. I haven't watched it, but I guess there's a mid-credit scene where Hitler's in it or something like that.
Yes, he is. That is accurate.
And I guess that's going to be the sequel.
Titled The Traitor King.
The Traitor King. There
And
you
we'll
go.
cover the rise of Hitler.
Yeah.
All right.
How
I mean,
about
look.
eight? How about eight? Sorry, I'm going backwards.
No, you're fine.
Because I want to say this before I lose it.
Okay.
How about we give A24 where they buy Starship Troopers?
Oh, yeah.
That's what Baroque said in the chat.
He is?
Yeah. Starship Troopers with
Demon bugs.
demon bugs.
Baroque, we're just on another
Same
level,
wavelength here. Same wavelength.
That's awesome, actually. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And then the other one I think A24 could do just an awesome, hilarious reboot of is Buckaroo Banzai.
Oh, man. I still need to watch that.
You do. See, I need to win predictions to make you guys watch it with me because I feel like it's the only way I'll really force you to.
Buckaroo Banzai? Let's
Unfortunately,
make it happen.
you have 9 points or something. Brett has 3, I think, and I have like -10.
When did The Kingsman come out?
Last year?
No.
2
Was
years
it
ago.
just
It was
last
during
year?
COVID.
Oh, it was. You're right.
I don't remember where I even ranked it.
It's right there. 42.
Matthew McConaughey? That sounds right.
If A24 wants a video game, they should get Doom.
Ooh,
Oh,
That'd be fun.
that would be awesome.
If they want a horror thing, they should do Sleepy Hollow.
I could get behind that.
I think they'd make a scary Sleepy Hollow.
All right.
Give them Jumanji. Let's get weird.
Oh my gosh.
Speaking of IP,
Do you
Okay.
have to go to the bathroom?
that was perfect, Luke.
I'm here to make.
Xbox bought Activision Blizzard.
Mm-hmm.
The
Officially
it is-
official.
Is that good? What games do
It's
they
happened.
have?
Candy Crush.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah, Candy Crush.
Candy Crush gonna be an Xbox
exclusive.
exclusive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
No,
And
I
it'll
don't-
only make them $20 billion.
Oh my gosh! I think that this is a ridiculous price tag.
69.8 billion. Yeah.
Nice.
Yay, capitalism. I don't know. It feels unnecessary, but at the same time, like, why can't you? I don't know. Whatever.
It doesn't like. I saw that it went through, and I was like, cool. It was announced so long ago. It's like
Yeah.
I'm glad it's finally over.
This is what happens. Look, tinfoil hat here going on because it's that kind of an episode.
Are you gonna join the group of people online that think Nintendo and PlayStation should team up to take
Oh
down
heck
Xbox?
no! Oh no! Not oh god no! Please! Ow! Don't.
That'd be so awesome if the first place and second place companies teamed up to take down third
The
place.
third place.
That's why it's hilarious that people are like suggesting it.
I just feel like it's a little bit like, look, this is my analogy for this. This is a horrible analogy. Don't quote me on this. This is like getting in an arms race with the U.S. in 1940. Like like Microsoft just has the resources to go to war with you, right? Like they will buy the shit out of everyone else if they want to, right? Like Xbox is not their primary moneymaker. It never has been, but like if they want to save face because PlayStation and PS5 fanboys want to like try and shit on their yard, guess what? They will go to war with you and you will not win in the end. It's not gonna happen. Yeah. So like, why can't we all just play nice and we don't have to have monopolies? End rant.
They'll team up. And then Xbox and Steam
will team up.
And then Epic will also join.
Epic and Google will make a console
and then
together.
Eventually we'll get Risk, the board game, but video game companies.
Risk is a pretty fun board game.
I've never played it.
I've played it.
Yeah, you're not a board game fan though, right?
I played one night of Risk, and then we never picked it back up.
It's a good time.
The only version of Risk I ever played was the version where you shoot basketballs.
What?
It's kind of like Horse, where you have to like prove your shot every time.
Oh.
It's called Risk It.
All right, well.
Yeah, this went through. I guess so. Tacking on to that, there's been heavy speculation that the first round of Activision games to Game Pass could be announced as early as tomorrow, the 17th. Obviously not. It's going to be on Game Pass tomorrow, but saying, hey, look, this is what we're looking to move over first.
Yeah.
Rumors of like a Call of Duty from the past couple of years might join Game Pass pretty quick.
Call of Duty Big Red 1.
I might just
now
resub to Game Pass just for that.
I think they said
you unsubbed, so you do not have Starfield anymore.
I bought Starfield.
Oh,
nice. Yeah, no,
I spent that money.
It's a thing. Activision is now an Xbox company.
Yeah.
Who's gonna run it?
Not Bobby.
Well, not next year, but he uses right now.
Well, for now, but yeah.
I think it's gonna be what's her name, Sarah.
The
chick who runs Game Pass.
Oh, maybe.
Or do they bring back Larry Herb to run it?
Oh my gosh, Larry is not a.
Pete Hines.
It's not his role.
Pete left Bethesda today.
I saw that's another big.
He retired. Well, he retired.
He retired. He's not going into.
He's
not doing more gaming things unless
Starfield's out.
That's literally what his announcement was. He's like, it just felt like the right time. We shipped Starfield, and I'm gonna go now.
Yeah.
It's like, sweet.
No, good for Pete. He's had quite a legacy, quite a career.
I love that he was like, I'm gonna stay in this community with you guys.
Oh yeah.
It's like, cool.
Like it's wonderful to see someone part from the industry on such good terms.
And on their own terms.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, like it is. It's
refreshing.
Rarer than it should be, I feel like.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
What other news stories do we got, boys?
I got a couple.
Hit me. Not literally.
Speaking of retirement, Michael Caine officially retired.
Yeah.
I didn't hear this.
Yeah, it's a bummer. I mean,
he was like, I'm 9 years old. All I'm playing is old guys. I think it's time to hang it up. So yeah, he's.
Congrats on a hell of a career.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And going out on his own terms.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good for him. I hope he enjoys, his retirement.
I haven't seen every Michael Caine movie, but I've seen every Nolan movie, and he's in most of them.
How many movies?
Oh, jeez.
Did Michael Caine?
Is Michael Caine in?
74.
Are you guessing, or do you know that? Oh, okay.
That's my guess.
100, at least 102.
I was right if you round up.
You were close.
I was right.
That's a lot of movies.
Rounding up, I'm correct.
But I feel okay. So at least 102 is what
Google says.
Google's little probably dumb AI says. But like right next to it, over here, it says Sir Michael Caine, an English retired actor known for his distinctive accent, has appeared in more than 160 films.
Good
Some of them might be uncredited.
Yeah.
That's probably true. One of them is probably just looking for credited things. That's a good point.
Well, good for Michael Caine, man. I hope he enjoys
Hell of a career,
retirement.
Mr. Caine.
You're not going to
Sir Caine.
What else you got?
Became something greater. We kind of mentioned it earlier. The Winnie the Pooh and Blood and Honey was played in a school.
Oh, yeah.
So I just kind of wanted to ask the question: did you ever have a movie day at school? You watch something that you definitely shouldn't have been watching. For instance, I watched Gremlins in school because we were getting ready to head to Christmas break. And I just remember seeing the kitchen scene and just being like, we shouldn't be watching this. And then there's also like the hates Santa scene, which ruins Christmas. It's like, wow, this is horrible. That movie was way too young for I think I was in middle school.
Oh, yeah.
I don't recall one.
I don't recall early on watching anything. As like high schoolers, I remember there were things that were a little edgier. Like we watched the Leo DiCaprio Romeo and Juliet, which had nudity in it.
Well, the super old one does too.
Yeah.
And that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
Heck, and then in high school we watched the Macbeth. I think it's Macbeth movie. There was so much nudity. I couldn't believe we were watching. I was just like, who approved this?
I feel like
it's
theater,
super R-rated, and like I signed no waiver or took it home to my parents to sign.
I feel like in theater and English classes, like for some reason they can get away with showing, more mature rated things. Maybe that's just why theater kids don't end up the way we do.
Hey, I didn't read Macbeth though, even though we were supposed to, and then we watched the movie, and then we had a test, and I just based all my answers on the movie. %.
Nice.
Yeah,
I guess I did look at Spark Notes.
I can't really recall like a movie I watched that I probably shouldn't have, but I can think of a movie that I clearly shouldn't have watched when I watched it, and that is The Exorcist.
No, man. I think that was about age appropriate for you.
I was like 11 when I watched it, and it scarred me for life. So it's
rated G. No.
Yeah,
for when it came out, was it rated PG? It probably was only rated PG.
Probably.
No, it was definitely rated R.
Yeah, there's some pretty wild stuff in that movie.
That's fair.
That and the movie Scream, but I didn't watch Scream. I walked out of my bedroom while my parents were watching it and walked down the hallway because I was going to ask them a question. And they were watching it, and I walked in when something was happening, and I had recurring nightmares for like a year after that.
Nice. I
was a huge baby when it came to scary movies when I was younger. As I got older, I learned to really love them.
I have to ask my mom. I feel like we went to the drive-in. I know we went to a drive-in.
Fun fact, I've never been to a drive-in theater.
When I was a child, as a family, and we had a minivan. And my sister and I were, able to watch the first movie as a family movie, kids movie, whatever. And then we were supposed to go to sleep, and that my parents were gonna watch whatever. I think it was Alien, but it wouldn't have been a new movie that came out in the late 70s. So, but yeah, there was something that they were watching that I definitely saw something that was scary, and it haunted me for a while, but yeah. Other than that, not much. My parents aren't really into horror or anything like that. So anything I would have seen would have just been on like it was edited for TV kind of a thing. Scrolling through at 10 p.m. or whatever.
Those are fun.
Yeah.
The last thing I have was Kevin Feige was talking about making Marvel movies and stuff, and he said after everything we've done, I feel like we've only barely scratched the surface. And everybody I saw did that exact reaction. It's like, are you serious? There's more of this?
It's funny how much of a heel turn people have had on the MCU
Mhm.
in the last like 3 years.
Look, it's one thing to be like, there are more unique stories to tell, and we've barely scratched the surface.
Yeah.
One of those is an okay answer. The other one is money, please.
Yeah. There was like a thing, and I don't know.
Was it the Fantastic Four director? It was
No.
like, this is gonna be like nothing
Nothing you've ever seen before. I did see that, and I also saw that he said that the cast will be announced when the SAG strike is over or whatever. But
setting myself up for disappointment.
But there was something
Yeah,
that,
you are.
I don't know if it was real, but it was somebody said that like Marvel really thought Quantumania was going to be like a home run, and when it released and the reviews were negative, Marvel was kind of like blindsided by it, and I was like, interesting. Like I don't know.
Was Bob Iger back yet? When
No.
Quantumania was being made?
I don't believe so.
Not during here's the thing.
Not during the production
He would have
of
been
it.
around for pre-production though. Like he would have been aware of all the now. Marvel movies are infamously like complicated and are changed a ton in post, right? Like that was even true with Doctor Strange. So, it's not there's a.
I second that. Ugh.
That movie's bad, dude.
I think that's the worst Marvel MCU.
Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
Pretty terrible.
I don't know if I like
Are
it.
they
more
gonna
or
turn
less
it around in the Marvels?
You know what? They could.
They could.
They could.
You know what? I like that optimism. They could.
I'm still not excited to see it.
They
really.
won't, but they
I was
could.
gonna
I'm
say-
not really like dreading it either. It's
No.
like, okay. Yeah, let's go.
Maybe it'll be fun, right?
I just think of like everything that it's connected to, like Secret Invasion and Captain Marvel, which are both things I didn't like.
Don't
kinda
worry.
nervous.
I can guarantee you it's gonna have zero connection to either one of those outside of Kamala Khan being a character. If I've learned anything from past Marvel movies having zero connection to the shows that came right before it, it's that.
They really like.
Remember when they made WandaVision and then nobody on Multiverse of Madness
watched it.
watched it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Which they straight up said.
Their continuity, and I'm gonna use the term continuity, but those interconnectedness between films previously, like in the first 3 phases, I think they worked so well. They were small but meaningful.
Well, then they complicated it.
And then with the shows, it just really does feel like they threw it out the window, and I don't
Because I know
like
people.
bold
No more
strategy,
shows.
but like,
No more
Oh,
or
that's,
even just no more shows that have direct connection. Like
That's-
honestly,
can we?
I know Moon Knight was kind of a miss, but it really has no connection to anything.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic. Just
Yeah.
let it be a thing. It's like, yeah, this is in the MCU. It's just a cool thing.
Yeah.
he may show up at some point.
Oh,
I don't think he
absolutely.
will.
but-
I mean, they got Oscar Isaac. Of
Yeah.
course, he's gonna show up.
But like speaking of shows, the
Probably
Daredevil
Skrull.
Born Again creative team was completely wiped out last week.
yep.
Just fired everybody.
That is
Yeah, not by natural causes, by
worrying.
executives.
Yeah.
because of that, but also when you just hear what the show was, it's like, okay, good.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because it sounded pretty bad what they were working on. It's going to be like 90% lawyer stuff, which would be cool, but it's a Daredevil show.
Right. And it was about him like trying to be not so dark or whatever.
Apparently he didn't suit up to like episode 4 or 5.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and they wanted him to focus on being like more lighthearted and all this. Like it was. They had a
So
weird-
MCUifying it.
Yes.
Yeah, and now they're trying to figure out how to find the balance that the Netflix show did. That is still one of the best shows on Netflix.
I'm pretty sure who was the showrunner?
Is
for
it even there anymore,
Netflix?
actually?
I don't know.
Is it just
I don't
on
think
Disney
so.
Plus now?
I think it's just on Disney.
Man, what a scam. Freaking Netflix, like, I know we give Netflix crap all the time for wasting money.
They got hosed.
They got freaking hosed on that, man.
Yeah.
Disney just ripped that from them. Thanks for doing all the work. This is ours now.
Yeah.
Golly.
Brutal.
Rough. Real.
Who was
rough.
running the shows? Was it Loeb?
Daredevil?
Yeah.
Steven DeKnight.
No, who was running like the Netflix Marvel stuff?
No
Who's
idea.
overseeing it? There wasn't one
I think it was
executive
I think it
producer
was
kind of
like
overseeing
Jeff
all of it all.
Loeb. I'll look it up.
All right. Well,
They weren't connecting it to the MCU. So
no, but
different
it was pretty much
leadership
just each show had its own showrunner, and that was it. Hey, that'd be
outside of like, hey, it's Netflix's little universe.
sure. Yeah. There may have been a Netflix person who was kind of over it. But all right, well, while Tyler's looking that up, I think we can real quick talk about what we did this week. I don't have anything new. We talked about it at the beginning. Luke, what do you got? Did you do anything else other than make a movie?
I did do something else, but I kind of wanted to bring this up. So I'm watching football. There's this commercial. They bring it up. Actually, there's two commercials I could talk about, but this one's more important and it relates more to kind of what we do.
Okay.
Because we talked about movie making earlier.
Yeah.
And it's an Apple commercial.
Yeah.
And it says at the beginning, filmed on Apple iPhone 15. And it's a pop star.
Oh yeah, what's her name?
Olivia
Rodrigo. Yeah.
Jeff Loeb was who ran the Marvel Netflix stuff.
But anyway, it annoys me so much in this commercial when they're like, this commercial was filmed on Apple iPhone 15. You can do this. And then they show behind the scenes of it, and they have a giant rail track going all the way down the road, and a gimbal on a crane.
Yeah.
Guess what? You can't do that. This is what you do at home. Maybe you have a little handheld gimbal.
Yeah.
And that is like one of the most misleading commercials, and it really pisses me off, is like filmmakers.
Apple, like the last 2 years have just kind of pushed that, like, this is a pro camera. And it's always so funny to me to see professional photographers and filmmakers just laugh our asses off at it, because it's like everything in those shot on iPhone. You know, we made this short using an iPhone. Yeah, with probably not 100, with
a $10 million
budget, beautiful sets, wonderful lighting, a professional crew. Yeah.
Hey,
that doesn't surprise me that it looks good.
I have a challenge that Apple will never see because we have no chip. Or platform, really. Why don't you hire random like YouTubers to be like, hey, here's an iPhone 15. I want you to go make a 30-second commercial and just use this.
Yeah.
Make it look cool.
Make it look cool.
I would be a lot more interested in that marketing than, I don't know, one of the top 5 pop stars in the world right now.
Yeah.
Getting an insane budget to do something like that.
Yeah.
It's stupid. I hate that commercial. The other one I hate is the one, it's an alcohol commercial where they're all singing Sweet Caroline in the bar. They're all like hugging. They're like, Sweet Caroline. And the girl walks in. She's like, this is such a great place. That looks like the worst place on earth. And if for some reason I would show up at a bar by myself, if I walk in and I'm seeing that, back to the car.
Immediately
We're
out.
leaving.
Luke's immediately
That would
out.
be hell on earth. Ugh. Watching that commercial gives me anxiety because there's just so many people.
So, did you do anything else other than watch commercials?
Yeah. I finished Reservation Dogs on Hulu. It was the last season. That show is fantastic. It's on Hulu. It's produced by Taika Waititi. Please go watch it. It is really funny. It's really witty. I also just learn a lot watching it.
Yeah.
About a culture you often don't hear about. And all the actors and actresses in it, I mean, aren't really well known, and I hope they become well known because they're all fantastic.
Yeah.
Awesome show. It's a booyah, all 3 seasons.
Sweet. Oh, dang.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I remember I watched most of the first season and I really liked it. I need to just go finish it. I still have Hulu, so let's go finish it. That and The Bear. Get back on The Bear
Dude,
train.
Reservation Dogs, The Bear, Only Murders in the Building. Just fantastic shows.
Hulu's got some good shows. I'm not a huge fan of their price increase, but good shows. You have some quality stuff.
Mhm.
Tyler, did you do anything this week?
I'm gonna go back to my Jeff Loeb comment because
Okay.
we were talking about like who could run it. It's like, well,
Yeah.
he's still out there. I doubt he would ever do it, but he is still out there if they wanted to try to.
Like, I'm not doing that.
Exactly, but if they wanted to try to capture that again, like the guy exists.
Yeah, right.
They'd have it. But no, I've I spent some more time playing Mirage. Still having a lot of fun with it. It's a ton of fun. And other than that, just
Making movies.
making a movie.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess that's the other thing I've been doing. I'm still playing Baldur's Gate whenever I
Whenever you have time.
have time.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, bro, you're gonna be playing that game for
Ever.
Yeah.
Because it
a
is
year.
so good.
There's so much agency in that game.
The more I play it, the more it creeps up to Game of the Year.
Wow, look at you.
I think there's a very strong chance it wins Game of the Year.
I'm absolutely certain it wins.
Yeah.
Like, only probably, I don't know, 40% explored the world. Probably 10% actually done with the game. And it's incredible.
Yeah.
If it doesn't win Game of the Year, I'll be extremely surprised.
I just don't know what would push it. Maybe Tears,
Probably Tears is the next one.
the next big one. Because From doesn't have anything other than Armored Core this year, and that's not going to do it. It's too niche, I think.
I think Armored, that would have a chance. I wouldn't be surprised if Final Fantasy gets in there. I really, really hope that Remnant 2
Gets
Gets
in
Get
a
the
some
nom.
nom.
It'll probably get
Yeah.
in the shooter nom.
Yeah.
I wonder if it'll get a shooter nom.
Yeah. Honestly, that is one of the best feeling shooters I've ever played. And I really, really liked Starfield, but honestly,
I think it'll get nommed. I don't think it'll win.
depending on how many noms there are, if it's not, I feel like I won't be surprised. Just the talk around that game is so weird. Because it came out and everybody's like, oh my gosh. And now it's like, it's good. And that's like as high as it gets.
Yeah.
Great game though. I really like that game.
Yep. I think what is remaining coming out that'll get a nom? Spider-Man.
Maybe.
Pretty much it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's not much else coming, so
I think Spider-Man definitely, at least for narrative.
yeah, Spider-Man.
It
Will
seems
get
like
nom.
it'll have a really strong narrative.
I've seen. Sorry, we're going down a rabbit hole
It's
here.
fine.
I've seen like the embargo lifted today.
Yeah.
It's
good
like the reviews are coming out. Reviews are great. But one comment that caught my eye is like on Kind of Funny. They were all talking about like their time spent with it and like, who's platinumed it, and like the whole panel had platinumed it, and the longest playtime one of the guys said was like 30 hours. I was like, dang, that's a quick platinum for Spider-Man.
Jedi
That's
Survivor.
Oh wow, yeah.
Jedi Survivor, I think, could be in the discussion. That game's awesome.
Oh yeah, that's true. You have to wonder if the launch of it though on PC hampers it. We've seen games with rocky launches get kind of buried.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Was Fallen Order nommed
I'm
for
sure.
Game of the Year?
I think so.
That sounds right.
I could see Survivor getting in there.
Metroid Prime Remastered. That would be interesting. Personally, don't like remasters or it's not very different.
Yeah.
Hi-Fi Rush. That would be awesome.
Yeah, Hi-Fi Rush had a lot of positive buzz. It could sneak in. That would be hilarious if my prediction of an Xbox first-party game wins Game of the Year and
And it's Hi-Fi
it's
Rush.
I would get a point, but I would not get the full 2 points because it wouldn't be Starfield. That'd be hilarious.
That would be so awesome.
That would be very cool.
Won't happen, but it'd be really
No,
cool.
No.
But no, I mean, I didn't do anything else really.
Well, we got
My
one
wife
fan
bought me an
box.
awesome gift.
Oh.
She bought me a book light so I
Nice.
can read in bed.
Oh, that's so that's
It's
very considerate.
super small, but it made my day. I was really happy about it.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
That's
Sorry,
dope.
carry on.
No, we had a fan box question
Okay.
this week from Stephanie, who asked, "What do we think are the best movie and TV soundtracks of all time, or some of the best? If you're not gonna like comfortable being like this is the best, but like this is a favorite,
I think anything Lord of the Rings immediately is on that list.
Yeah.
For me.
Mm-hmm.
And it fits in both categories, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Rings of Power, like, for...
Whatever you think about the show.
It's a show. The music's
You can't argue
great.
against the music.
The music's great, for sure.
I'll throw in Man of Steel. I think Man of Steel's a fantastic soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For me,
I got one more too, but
definitely up there is Interstellar.
Yeah, I was just about to say it.
100%.
Dune.
Uh-huh.
And then
Dune's great.
Braveheart.
How many of those are Zimmer?
2 of them.
Just 2.
Braveheart's James Horner.
Warner.
I guess I have 2 more then.
Okay.
One is Tron.
Oh, dope. Yep.
Tron's got to be there. And then Black Panther.
Ludwig. Yeah. Yeah.
Honorable mention, I really like the Tenet soundtrack too.
I need to re-listen. I need to rewatch Tenet. Yeah.
I always tell myself I'm going to rewatch it, and then I pick it up, I sit down, and I go, maybe not.
There's also just anything Zimmer, really. Like, Spirit, Stallion and Cimarron, Prince of Egypt, Lion
We haven't said any shows, have we?
He's
What's the
done
Lord of the
that.
Rings?
Show.
But,
I think TV or I think movies are just easier, right?
Yeah.
But
And then classic John Williams, Star Wars,
yeah.
Indiana Jones, Superman,
Yep.
Jaws.
Oh man, the original Superman's so good.
Shows, man, that is tough.
I'd throw Stranger Things in there. I think Stranger Things music
Stranger
always
Things is
really
good.
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones is great.
good.
Yeah.
Um,
Luke, this is one you and I'll get. I think the two seasons of Perry Mason that came out had fantastic music.
Yeah.
They had really good music.
Yeah, it had like that. It was like when you think of noir,
Yeah.
it was that.
is that
Yeah.
okay? Hollywood, 50s type kind of stuff. I thought that was good.
I'm just gonna Google best TV show soundtracks. Let's see.
A lot of the ones we've said.
Sounds like we're on target then.
I never watched Lost. Did you watch Yellowstone?
I've watched like the first 7 episodes.
Soundtrack good in that?
I don't remember.
Pretty forgettable.
Okay, here's a softball.
Okay.
Because I'm not sure how much it counts. How much of The Last of Us music was
It's pretty much
it's
exactly
just
like
from the game?
Yeah.
So like it's good, but it's also like it's not necessarily original.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
But
so
like
good.
how much
It's
is
so
it?
good.
It's still so
it's
good,
so
right?
good.
It's so good that they didn't need to change it.
I love the soundtracks that the Newton brothers do for Mike Flanagan stuff. They are very, very simple. A lot of times it's piano
Yeah.
or low synth rumbles.
Yeah.
If it's scary stuff. But like Midnight Mass. If you listen to that soundtrack, the first 12 songs are a cappella hymns.
Yeah.
They are so beautifully sung, and then the last 12 songs are these extremely simple, minimalistic horror vibes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so good. It's so good.
I'm going to go back to movies. Who did the new Planet of the Apes movie soundtracks?
Ooh.
Those are good too.
I'm looking through this list, and they like keep saying shows, and it's like, I don't remember the music at all from that. Or I
Would The
haven't watched
Crown
it.
be one?
Yeah. Great music, but at the same time, like, I can't think of the music.
Yeah.
That's the original.
But I do remember, like, being moved by it.
Patrick Doyle.
Patrick, he did all of them?
Think so.
It's Giacchino. I'm pretty sure.
He did Dawn and
because it's Matt Reeves.
Truth.
Oh.
He did Dawn and War, so yeah.
So Rise would be Doyle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those soundtracks are good.
Ooh, speaking of Giacchino, most underrated soundtrack maybe of his, and even superhero movies, The Incredibles.
Oh, yeah.
It's like jazz.
Yes.
For most of it.
How can we not have mentioned Treasure Planet by now?
Good.
It's great.
It's great.
Okay.
There's like
Luke's
okay,
not on
here's
board.
here's my
Luke's
thing.
not on board.
No, I am on board. There's some great soundtracks and they have great movements through all of them, but then there's like a lot of movies where they have a great sad theme and a great hero theme, and the rest in between is just kind of like
forgettable.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
This might be heresy because I freaking love Treasure Planet, but great hero theme, and then like the scene where he's talking to Long John Silver, I don't remember his name.
Yeah.
Is a great like inspiring sad theme.
Yeah, yeah.
But in between, it's like okay.
How do you feel about How to Train Your Dragon?
That is good stuff right
That's
there.
good
John Pell.
That's good stuff all the way
That is
around.
amazing
Yeah,
stuff.
okay, okay. I'm down with that. I'm on board with that too. So, okay. Well, there you go. Like, if we missed your favorite, tweet it at us. Exit at us. I don't know.
Thread it to us.
Just to let us know.
Shoot it to us on
in
threads.
the comments.
Yeah, and if you have
Comment.
a fun Fanbox question for next week, send it our way. Hopefully, next week we may be talking more about the Fall of the House of Usher. Definitely
Killers of the Flower Moon, baby.
Killers of the Flower Moon. So, one of our most anticipated films this year.
3.5 hours of cinema. Let's go.
Is that hitting Apple the same time as theaters? Or is it theaters and then
Theaters
Apple,
and then it's Apple.
like
and,
2 weeks from now?
I want to say it's just around Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So it may have like a 4-week exclusivity, something like
is it
that.
in IMAX?
Yeah.
Let's go.
It's in IMAX. So be ready for that review next week. Until then, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We'll see ya.
Goodbye.